Good morning. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now, Kentucky, and we've had quite the 24 hours in the state. And now our threat goes toward a slick roadway condition as well as heavy rains heavy flooding continuing here on this Sunday going into early parts of this week ahead. So lots to cover here. We'll get you updated on everything and kind of get you updated on what to expect today, what happened yesterday, what we expect going ahead here. Again, the Facebook broadcast stuff has just been so laggy for some reason last few days. Roberto, thank you for your 200 stars. Of course, as you're coming into the broadcast, if you would not mind, please tap that share button at the bottom portion of your screen. You guys know the deal by now. If you're just now rolling in here, don't worry. We're going to give it a couple minutes before we start because we didn't give a heads up that we're going to go live. So we're going to give it a couple of minutes before we start here. And again, just kind of update you on what we saw yesterday. What are the threats today? For those of you that may not know, it is currently puking snowfall in some portions of the state. And it's going to continue to move east throughout the morning and the early afternoon hours, creating another potential hazard for today. So lots and lots and lots to talk about here with you. I want to refresh the YouTube side as well. I think everything is just kind of moving slow this morning. Everything's just kind of moving slow this morning, just like me. We're all even my computer's tired. Even my computer's tired. I'll give it probably about another 30 seconds. So if you're just now hopping here, don't worry, you have not missed a thing. We're kind of just letting everyone kind of get settled in here. I know it's early in the morning. We're just giving everyone some time. It's a very chilly, or going toward a very chilly Sunday morning. Hopefully, everyone's home. I have not seen any more reported fatalities just yet. I believe we're still at 3, all from flooding, so all flood-related deaths. Folks in their vehicles not realizing flash flooding was occurring and it came out of nowhere and unfortunately got them. So again, reminder: just stay home today, folks. It is not worth it. It is not. There is a substantial amount of rainfall on the ground, and now we have snow, really impacting portions of Kentucky. What is going on here? Let's go ahead and ban that person there. I always enjoy dropping the ban hammer every once in a while. All right, let's go ahead and pull up our main screen here and kind of show you what we're looking at here. So here are your current rainfall totals. I'll show you the radar and model data so you know what to expect today, snowfall wise and all that good stuff. But let's start with what happened yesterday and while you were asleep. We have maxed out the Kentucky Mesonet here, their color bar. It is a full-on black down in South Central, Central, and Southwestern Kentucky. Again, why is that Facebook just being that way? Goodness gracious. The Facebook live dashboard is just being absolutely insane the last couple of days. But I mean, even in these lighter end zones, 2 to 3 inches up here in northern Kentucky and the eastern Kentucky, still saw flash flooding occurring. I will say this, and now this is going to sound very weird, but I'm very. If we saw this in black occur in southeastern Kentucky, you would have said goodbye to a lot of communities down there. That's how high their risk guidance was on flash flooding. They already, even with only the 3 to 4 inches that they received, they already had several communities really heavily impacted, even more so than a lot of these folks over here that did receive the heavier rainfalls. So again, it kind of sucks to hear, but almost a thank goodness that it did not end up over there. Even over here, we still see a lot of flooding ongoing. Hopkinsville, up toward Hart County, going out toward Grayson County. Really around the parkways is the main areas right now where we're seeing those floodings continue. Again, we do see some snowfall occurring. I do see some questions about that. We'll get into that in just one moment. I just want to go over kind of the flood threat because that's still the number one threat that we have to talk about. By the way, we do still see the potential for flood threats to exist all the way into Monday and Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday into Kentucky. As you see these purple gauges here, these are major flood forecast. So Little River and Hopkinsville, Calhoun Lock, and Green River at Calhoun Lock, sorry, and Beaver Dam, Kentucky, or Dam, Kentucky out there. Green River at Woodbury, Kentucky, Kentucky River near Ravenna, and South Fork Kentucky River at Boonville, all forecasted to go into major flood stage. There are several other rivers that are all forecasted to go into moderate. Those are in red there, as you can see, and these oranges are minor flood stages. So again, I mean, it is a bad situation on flooding. We don't only have the flash flooding to worry about. That threat is now ending, thankfully, as the heavier rains are finally gone. But we still have the flooding threat to worry about, not only today, but stretching through Monday to Tuesday, early portions of the week going up ahead before we have another snow event and perhaps even a big one on Thursday. We're not going to talk about that too much. I will show you a little bit because I know there's been a lot of questions about it. Also, now that the flood threat's done, you're going to see this a massive wave of snow maps being pushed on the social media. So I want you guys to see here first and learn kind of how to taper the expectations down just a little bit because there's some crazy model runs going on for Thursday. I'll show you that here in just a second though. I want to show you the live radar right now. Again, the snow line is a bit more east than what the radar is depicting. That happens from time to time, especially as temperatures were 40, 50, 60 degrees that are now crashing all the way into the 30s. It's going to take some time for the radar to catch up. So the actual snow line, let's go ahead and pull our drawing tool here from WeatherWise. The actual snow line is about right here. Again, maybe even a little bit further east. But this is your actual snow line at this point. So even the stuff that you're seeing in green, which would mean rain, is actually snow. So heaviest snows, I mean, I kind of show you out the window real quickly. I mean, here in Radcliffe, for example, I mean, it is just puking snowfall out there. Even the camera doesn't do it justice. And this is a 1080p camera. I mean, you can barely see the difference between the road and the grass out there. I mean, it is puking snowfall out there. It looks like a mini blizzard outside, if you will. Now it's not, but it just looks like your classic snow globe event. But again, a really quick 1 to 3 inches on the table, and there's going to be some places that may even push 4 inches. I mean, there's still a lot of moisture out there, folks. You got to remember, all of our moisture from yesterday and today is all being shoved all the way from the Gulf down here and just being shoved up to the northeast will create a nor'easter event, perhaps up into the northeast portions of the country. And as that polar air, that cold air is trying to seep into Kentucky from the west here, what it's doing is to help squeeze out that Gulf moisture, almost like if you were to squeeze a sponge in your hand. And that's the reason we're seeing snowfall today. 1 to 3 inches absolutely cannot be ruled out. So I do want to show you the model data real quickly as it's coming in here. Go ahead and zoom into the local view. Just kind of show you, this is a brand new model run. So as of 7 a.m. Eastern time, let's go ahead and advance that forward to 8 a.m. Eastern time. You'll see it's seeing it pretty well. Not exactly 100% perfect, but it's okay. So around the I-65 corridor in central Kentucky, by the way, your snowfall should be done by about 10 to 10:30 a.m. Eastern time or so. And then it'll kind of drift off to northeastern Kentucky. I know you folks down there in Somerset to Pikeville to Harlan to Monticello to your folks down there in southeast Kentucky. I know you want to see snowfall, but it's a good thing you're not seeing snowfall. You don't need any more liquid at all. Really, none of us do. But southeastern Kentucky, you are above, far above, far above anything you should be at. So again, I know you want to see snowfall, but it's a really good thing that you're not seeing snowfall. Here is the latest model thinking for snowfall totals. Again, it does try to show E-Town and Hardin County at a bullseye for 4 inches. That might be a bit more on the aggressive side. I think you're probably looking at a 1 to 3 inch swath, pretty much all the way from, what is that, Madisonville, Kentucky, and out toward, I can't think right now. My brain is just absolutely fried. Yeah, that is Madisonville. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. My brain's gone, guys. Madisonville to Hopkinsville, stretching all the way up toward the northern portions of Somerset, going up toward northeastern and eastern and northern Kentucky. 1 to 3 inches is going to be your main guide for almost everyone. So if you're asking about what you should see in your area, 1 to 3 inches of snowfall relatively by lunchtime is a good bet. Now, they're going to be asked, can this melt afterward after it's done? It can. But the only problem is temperatures are going to work to crash by the time Sunday night comes. And this model can only see so far out. So let's go ahead and go back to the 6Z run here. I do want to show you the temperatures as they crash on Sunday night to Monday morning. We may be left with a flash freeze event for folks along and north of the parkways. Remember, a flash freeze sets in under 25 degrees. So anyone that sees 25 degrees or lower, you're going to have anything that's on the ground at that point suddenly freeze. It doesn't matter what the road temps, doesn't matter about air, anything else. It's if that surface temperature is 25 degrees or below, it will flash freeze. So we do expect perhaps some slick spots to occur for Monday morning that may interrupt schools and businesses, especially for those along and north of the parkways in Kentucky. So again, just another hazard to worry about. We've gone from, by the way, I've been doing this for Ricky with the 200 stars. Thank you very much. I've been doing this for going on, oh my goodness, 7 or 8 years now. I can't remember. At least from this page, I've been doing it for a little bit longer. But I have never seen an entire state like Kentucky. Kentucky's a relatively wide state in comparison to other states, right? I have never seen a Kentucky or a state as wide as Kentucky fully engulfed in flash flood warnings like I did last night. So absolutely, the verbiage that we used a couple days ago that people ridiculed us for. They're like, "Oh, you're overhyping this. Oh, you're overdoing this. Oh, you're classic, or whatever. Or you're gonna, I don't know. People say all kinds of things in my inboxes, but it absolutely was a historic event that continues to produce historic measures. We've gone from flash flooding to perhaps even a couple of spin up tornadoes last night that we may have seen, to 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gust, to 6 to 8 inches of rainfall in some of the heavier locations. And then now we're looking at the backside snow event. So it absolutely an insane 24-hour, all that within 24 hours. We're not talking about a span of a few days here. We're talking about, it's not HARP. Don't start doing the HARP stuff, guys. I immediately ban that stuff. Do not start doing the HARP stuff. Even if you believe, I'm not saying you're 100% wrong. I just don't want to see it. All right. So, again, I do want to just point out that that is all happening within a 24-hour period. Just absolutely insane stuff ongoing in Kentucky at this point. I do want to show you the potential system for Thursday real quickly before we hop off this broadcast, because I'm not going to sound here long. My voice is almost gone. It's been a long weekend. I do want to show you the potential that we have seen for Thursday. Again, this is likely going to change a little bit by the time we get to that time frame. I don't like to really talk about events outside of the 3-day window, but you're going to start seeing this stuff spammed everywhere. So I want you guys to just have some context here with us and what we're expecting to see on Thursday. Oh, by the way, before we get there, we do see temperatures absolutely crash as another wave of polar air moves in, and that sets the stage for what may be on our horizon for later this week, more so specifically on Thursday than after the Thursday event. Temperatures just crash. I mean, we're talking about the potential for going back down to zero, which is absolutely on the table. So, that said, let's go ahead and roll this here. So this is Tuesday going into Wednesday. May see a few snowflakes on Tuesday. I'm not expecting anything major at all. If any, I mean, again, just a few snowflakes at most. Let's advance this on down to Wednesday going into Thursday. So models are trying to speed this up a little bit, but the main time frame is going to be Wednesday to Thursday here. It's going to not look very impressive. All right, you're going to have a few hours or perhaps even 12 to 15 hours of some moderate snowfall, and then it's gone by Thursday morning. Now, the difference is, instead of snowing at 35 to 40 degrees like we're seeing now, it's going to be snowing at 15 to 20 degrees. The result is the potential for up to about 4 to 8 inches of snowfall, and this might be on the lighter side. Technically, what you're supposed to use for this, when you're talking about snowfall occurring that's less than 32 degrees or less than about 27 degrees, is this Kuchera. All right, but I want you to know that this is likely the ceiling of the event. It's anywhere between 4 to 10 inches of snowfall for relatively all of Kentucky. So again, this is one model here. If we go to look at a different model, let's go ahead and pull it up here on the GFS. It shows a ridiculous amount of snowfall, 4 to even 14 inches of snowfall, right? Let's go ahead and look at the Icon model here, right? It also shows a ridiculous amount of 4 to 10 inches of snowfall. Let's go ahead and look at the Canadian model here. And now it cannot go into the regional view, but it can go into, or it can't go to local view, but it can go to regional. It also shows the potential for 4 to 7 inches of snowfall. So again, all 4 major models do see this. Now, if we go to more of a local or more of a short range model, let's look at what it shows. 4 to 10 inches of snowfall. So the threat is there for anywhere between, a low end event to a moderate event. Now, again, I tell you this knowing that please remember that this can change. Don't look at these models and think, oh my goodness, I got to run a Kroger right now. Guys, I will tell you if it's time that you need to run a Kroger and get all your stuff, all right? At this moment, right now, we're in the stage where we're just kind of looking at it. We're just kind of monitoring it. We'll start forecasting this harder probably tomorrow night, going into Tuesday, so on and so forth. I just want to kind of give you a heads up because you're going to see these maps all flying around social media, and the threat is there for perhaps the next winter storm of 2025 in Kentucky. It's been an absolutely insane winter. We've gone from about 7 or 8 winters where it's been more on the quieter side to some folks maybe even seeing upwards of 30 inches of snowfall for the winter. That is absolutely insane stuff. And again, this is also not going to help the heavy water threats. So just wanted to put that stuff out there for you. Again, do not bank on it at the moment. We have to do a lot more research on this. Now that the flood threat's kind of dying down a little bit, we can start diving into this more. I didn't really want to go into this until after this event was done. But now that that's kind of on the weaker side, we can go into things there. So I'm gonna get some of your questions now. I'm not going to answer too many questions because again, the same threat is pretty much general for all of Kentucky. We do see the potential for 1 to 3 inches of snowfall today. Sorry if you see my dog, hear my dog barking. He's having fun out there in the snowfall. Again, I'll kind of pull this back up here for you. He loves the snow out there. Yes, Tim, I'm good. Oh, that's right, Chad. Monday is President's Day, no school. We got a pretty good dusting right now in Radcliffe. Yeah, I'm looking outside on my. Looks like we're rapidly approaching an inch. I'm actually looking at the railing on the deck, and it looks probably just from my eye here, almost an inch. Maybe not quite there, but almost an inch. Yeah, Misty, just for context, if all of this that we're seeing right here was snowfall, you're talking about the potential for 30 to 60 inches of snowfall. That's how much rain we received just in a 24-hour period. Just phenomenal stuff that hopefully we never see again in our lifetime. And I think this could have been a lot worse. Thank goodness we have some decent infrastructure here in the state. I know half people don't want to admit it for some reason, but we do have some decent infrastructure here in the state that's holding up quite well for this amount of rainfall. Again, we still are seeing damaging floodwaters. I've seen several videos and reports. We also have 3 fatalities due to the flood. So please, again, do not go outside today. It is not worth it. Flash flooding is still occurring in some locations. Flooding overall is occurring in some locations. I do think by this afternoon and evening, travel will be a lot safer. But at least let's get to lunchtime first, folks, and then start. You can start traveling out. Oh my goodness, my dog is just going crazy out there. I'm so sorry if that's annoying some of you all. Yeah, Gina. So you saw it for yourself right here. So here is the outlook for Tuesday. Just to kind of, I see a lot of people asking about this. So here's Tuesday, by the way. Let me see if that will not show it. What about this model? Just go far enough out. Again, a few flakes might be possible on Tuesday, but it's not a lot. You see it for yourself right there. It's maybe a dusting or so, if anything. Again, the main show is going to be Wednesday to Thursday, and it could be anywhere between all the way from as low as 2 inches all the way to as up as a foot. I mean, we're kind of at a big window right now. We'll start to hone that in probably tomorrow morning, afternoon, and evening. Yeah, Rebecca, you know what? I actually sent a message to our team. I saw the lightning strike pop up in Davis County and then another one toward Beaver Dam, Kentucky. So there may have been 2 instances this morning of thunder snow in the state. Brittany, I appreciate that. All right. I think it's going to do it for our broadcast here with you guys. I don't want to take this one too long. This doesn't need to be a long, drawn out broadcast. It's a very general outlook today. 1 to 3 inches of snowfall for most folks in the state. And a lot of things will start to improve. A lot of conditions will begin to improve around the afternoon time frame. Until we get to that point, please stay inside. It is absolutely not worth it. I do want to take a quick moment here. I haven't given them a whole lot of love last couple of days just because they know we've been doing emergency broadcasts. We want to thank Right Implement Weatherwise, FBI Buildings, Hyper Roofing, Digital Solutions, all of our sponsors for allowing us to be here for you 24/7. So again, I ask that you support them in any way you can. Shop at Right Implement. Download the WeatherWise radar app that we're using right here in front of you. If you need roofing, you definitely need to get your roofs inspected before this spring, folks. I'm telling you right now, just kind of a teaser there. Hyper Roofing in Hardin County, go look at them. Phenomenal company. FBI Buildings does renovations and repairs to commercial and residential buildings, and Digital Solutions works on technology, fixes your devices, and you can also purchase devices through them as well. So again, quick shout out to those sponsors there. Thank you to them for allowing us to be here for you guys 24/7. So again, I ask you consider supporting them just as you support us. That's going to do it for us here at the WK base. Hopefully, this is the last time you see me today. Of course, we'll still post regularly on our Twitter and Facebook, so make sure you look out there for updates. Until next time, I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now Kentucky. Stay safe, folks.